Hi, this is Karen Malanga with NestBend Real Estate and my first podcast of House Talk. My first guests here are Zack and Liz Tickler, and they are a caterer to the rock stars, specifically Dave Matthews, who I love and adore, and they're first-time homebuyers with an FHA loan. So Zack and Liz, I'd love to hear about your home buying process and your experience and how you feel about it today now that it's over and you're in your home.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for having us, Karen, and thank you for guiding us through our whole house process. Has been really, really fun and exciting. And, there's some great ups and downs, but first and foremost, you were really excellent. And we had a great time buying a house with you and have recommended you already. So
you made the process very easy for us, and it can be difficult for some people. So it was a very simple process.
Well, thank you. Do you remember the hurdle we had with the fence and the FHA appraiser from where?
Absolutely. So the FHA loan, it's really great for somebody who can't necessarily put down the 20%, but still has, the income to own for home ownership and all of the other kind of birds and ducks in a row in that aspect. And there's just a couple of wacky things that it seems like they do in the FHA process that they don't necessarily do in the conventional loan process, like an existing fence that was on the property that's in great shape, but just didn't have a weather stain. And we had to try to get it weather stained in a time where it was below freezing and hail, sleet, and snow and the whole other 9 yards. But, eventually we were able to tackle it. And, there's just kind of those different odds and ends that may come up with an FHA or government loan that you wouldn't necessarily find with a conventional loan.
Yeah, I agree. I remember at one point the FHA appraiser calling me and saying, I don't care what the temperature is. Get your you-know-what over to the rental company, rent a sprayer and spray it yourself. And I was like looking at my phone thinking, did he really just say this? It's not my fence. I'm representing the buyer, not the seller. I don't have permission to go on the property. And I'm going to spray the fence with a product that's not going to adhere because it's like 30 degrees out or 10 below or whatever we had. Yeah, it was pretty funny. There were some moments during the process where I was so nervous that it wasn't going to close on time or that it wasn't going to come to fruition.
Right. There were a couple hiccups, but we definitely were able to push through them, and, we made it work. And, we're still getting told we need to paint the fence, and we will. It's been easy enough after those hiccups. We went through it, and now we're in.
I know.
And it's really exciting being first-time home buyers, and we really love it. Yeah.
I think the wonderful part about working with you two is because you do travel the world, that we were able to do everything on DocuSign, and you were always so responsive, not only with me, but with the loan officer. And that's one of the most important things. Right. Especially with your careers, just different time zones. Like, where are you now?
Yeah.
I'm in Europe on tour. Okay, well, whatever. I just need this signature on
that. That was a really cool process to be able to, and it just shows how far we've come technologically to be able to buy a house, see pictures, digital walkthroughs, and all of these really cool things that we couldn't have done 20 years ago even.
Absolutely.
To be able to have, somebody at home base and a great realtor at home base to communicate that made it really easy for me, because there was times when I was freaking out on the phone with her or via Skype or whatever it was and saying, I don't know anything, this is our first time doing it, and being 10,000 miles away, whatever it was, can make you want to pull your hair out. But to be able to have all of that stuff lined up, our loan officer was really great at helping us keep everything organized and in a way that I could view it from anywhere in the world. Really.
And you also worked with him, which was a huge difference to us, because that's what made it so easy, and I was the middleman when he was gone, but
you were the
we were all
middleman.
able to communicate, and especially with the loan officer, I mean, it all worked out. Yeah.
I think what's great is when you find the right home, and the minute we walked into that home, it was both of your faces lit up.
Yeah.
But you go through the process, and at times you hit these bumps, or you go down into a valley, and you think, oh, are we going to get there? But then once you're in your home, those all become a distant memory, and they fade away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And being able to ask questions is another. There was so many times where we would have a conversation with one another, but we just didn't know. I mean, everything was so new. Going and getting a loan, it seems like people start throwing numbers and years and figures out, and it can be a really scary thing. But to have approachable people makes it so much easier to just kind of power through and go, okay, they've done it, 150,000 times. That might be our first time, but don't hesitate to ask those questions. And we know that you're there to help. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
And you were a huge help. I mean, not only are we foreign to buying a house, but we were almost foreign to certain parts of this town.
Yes, you were.
We just moved here a year ago, and it was, way on the other side of out of town almost. And you were able to tell us, okay, you're looking at this house, but this is this neighborhood. And we were able to deduct from there kind of, okay, we don't want to be here, or maybe we were leaning towards this part of town. And that was huge too for us, because where we ended up, we love the whole area. And I wouldn't want to live anywhere else in this town. And it's perfect for us. Yeah.
It works great for us. Yeah.
Well, it has the park with the, Frisbee golf.
Disc golf, yeah.
Disc golf. And then can you explain before we end here how you discovered Bend?
We actually discovered Bend. We were on tour with Dave Matthews in, I want to say it was the summer of 2014, kind of towards the end of summer. And we had a day off in town, and Elizabeth and I walked off the bus and said, where is this? Where are we? This does not seem like Oregon. We're used to Portland, gray skies, and, people too busy to talk to you. And we had a friend of ours who was already living here take us around town and show us, the river and all of this stuff that you could do within 5 minutes of anywhere in town. That was it. It took us one day. And passing through, it took us one day to figure out that, we could want to retire here.
Yeah, we went back to the hotel that night and instantly started to look on Craigslist and Zillow, and that was it. And I mean, we were in Sonoma County. I mean, we never wanted to leave. And both of us traveling the country, we've seen the country and don't want to go anywhere else. But the second we walked off the bus and saw this town, that was it for us. So
love it first sight.
We loved it enough to buy a house. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate you too.
Of course.
Thanks so much, Karen.
Yeah, Karen, thank you.
This is Karen Malanga. I want to thank you for listening to House Talk, a division of NestBend.com.
Thank you for listening to House Talk with Karen Malanga. Copyright 2016, NestBend Real Estate.